2019 was like if 2018 wasn't so much of a, excuse my language, stank year. What does that even mean? I don't actually hate 2018. A lot of people thought it was a really terrible year, but I thought it was fine, you know. Overall, I think it was fine. A lot of people
go, oh, 2018 was the worst year on planet Earth. This decade has been horrible.
Okay, if you had a bad year in 2018, I'm not gonna say, oh no, stop complaining, it was a good year. Like, obviously, if you had a bad year, you had a bad year. That's, you know, that. I'm rambling. So, welcome back to another one of the year review videos. Today we're doing 2019. Now, 2019 was a big year for me. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of ups and around. I got a lot to talk about. This is gonna be a really long video. Just, you can already see the length. You may notice the little green screen, little stupid green screen I got going on. I'm gonna try some things. I'm gonna experiment a little bit. You get to see my overexposed face as I'm currently being blinded by very bright lamps. Please stop. Regardless though, let's talk about 2019 in an orderly fashion. Yahoo! Now first in the talk, we gotta talk about LEGO, the thing that you knuckle-scraping morons always look forward to. So LEGO 2019 for me wasn't really anything crazy. It was like 2018, I was starting to lose a little bit of interest. This year was like, wow, I don't really care. There was, not to say there wasn't some great stuff, there obviously was. Stranger Things set was pretty cool. We got LEGO Hidden Side, which while I enjoy Hidden Side, I think it's a very creative and interesting theme. It does need a little bit of tweaking, I think, moving forward. I'll talk about this in another video, but basically I think that they need to focus more on playability and less on the app and the functions of the app. It's just kind of, they kind of rely a little too much on that. Also, this is the year I just straight up stopped watching Ninjago. I just couldn't care after that fire arc. It was really boring. I know people have said a lot of great things about the ice arc, but I just don't, no, it's just a shame that CCBS is dead in its entirety because now we've got nothing cool, you know, nothing that I'm interested in. The best things we got are like mechs that come out every now and then. Mechs or big monsters or whatever. I'd say that some of the best LEGO sets this year were probably the LEGO Movie 2 sets, but I will talk more about LEGO Movie 2 in a bit because that is the thing that I want to talk about in this video. But those sets were legitimately super creative and unique. You can always rely on the LEGO Movie sets to be super solid. Either way though, LEGO isn't really super my thing. I get a set every now and then. In fact, I bought a new Ninjago set from 2020, the new digital wave or whatever they're calling it. Here it is right now. It's a very neat set. I only bought it for the swords, I'm going to be honest, because they are CCBS scale, and I will use that in a mock probably like 5 years from now, but I don't know, you'll see when that happens. Also, LEGO Marvel sucked this year. Holy crap, the Endgame sets were awful. Jesus, they don't even care anymore. They were like, ah, whatever. And then 2020 is even worse somehow. So, okay, granted, Far From Home sets were pretty decent, except for that Happy Hogan figure. That's pretty bad. And the Fire and Ice Wave they did for Ninjago was kind of just bleh. You know, it had some great builds, there was some neat stuff in there, but it's just such a generic theme. Again, it's more of a personal thing that I didn't like it. Maybe it was amazing, I don't friggin' know.
You be the judge, you tell me.
Movies. There were a lot of movies that came out in 2019. A lot of big movies, a lot of blockbusters specifically. However, I'm but a simple man. I only watched a few select movies, whether it be just my family being like, hey, you want to watch a movie? Or movies I was legitimately interested in watching, or just was browsing Netflix. I was like, yeah, I'll check it out. So I'm going to be talking about every single movie that I watched this year. I didn't watch that many, so this won't be too long. I'm going to keep it quick and concise for the most part. I do have a couple movies I want to splurge about. Okay, let's begin. First off, LEGO Movie 2. You know, one of those movies that comes out and you really like it but no one else was? That's how it feels. LEGO Movie 2 is honestly a really solid movie and probably my second favorite LEGO movie. It's definitely one of my favorite animated movies of the year. So I think this movie was so solid and it really flew under the radar, and I don't really know why. It's still really solid, it's quite funny, it's quite original. It has a lot of deep themes and things that I really got me. You know, there was a lot of great emotional moments that were really impactful because it made sense with the characters, you know. I just thought it was really solid. I thought it was it's not as good as the original. I mean, it's hard to top the original, you know, you're not gonna get to level 100 right away. But it's still pretty solid, and I really do think that whole thing was just burnout. I think Ninjago movie caused it to go way off. I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's definitely going to become an underrated classic years down the line, because I think people are gonna not really remember how solid this movie was. Still pretty freaky solid. I don't know. I think it's pretty good. So I apparently watched this Netflix movie called Triple Frontier. I don't know what, I watched this movie with my family, I guess, because I don't know. And I legitimately don't even remember anything of this movie. I'm sorry, I'm trying so hard to remember what this movie's about, and I cannot for the life of me. Ben Affleck, like, dies. That's probably a spoiler, but who cares? Nobody here cares about Do you care about Triple Frontier? You liar. Get that, Pinocchio, is that you? Get that grin off your face, mister. Anyways, who cares about Triple Frontier? Captain Marvel was not very interesting. It was a movie that I really wanted it to be good. I wanted, more than anything, I really wanted this cool sci-fi movie that would have had a bunch of fun aliens like Ragnarok and would have been very silly, but instead this is very typical, just boring. It feels like a Phase 1 movie, and not one of the interesting Phase 1 movies. I don't really like Captain Marvel as a character. I don't think she's the worst thing on planet Earth, but I just didn't take much away from this movie. I only watched it because of Endgame. That's the reason why I made $1 billion. So I saw the new Pet Sematary for some reason. I don't really know why. I thought this movie had a lot of personality going for it. I thought it was kind of fun in a lot of ways. I really like the atmosphere. I think it's shot really well, but the movie itself is kind of just a bland, generic horror movie. It's got cheap jump scares, it's got works, but again, I think it's shot well, and I think the atmosphere, when they first go into the Pet Sematary area, it's all foggy and creepy, really over the top and like cartoonishly like evil, but I really appreciate that. I wish more movies looked like that nowadays. It reminds me of a modern horror classic. But this movie is just so bland. There's nothing really interesting about it besides the cinematography and, you know, the atmosphere. I think that's all it really has going for it. I don't even remember the acting being particularly amazing. So that's Pet Sematary. I don't know why I even watched it. So Endgame, Avengers Endgame is a masterpiece. Sorry, that's a bit of an exaggeration. Endgame is one of those experiences that I'm never going to forget in a million years. It's one of the most hyped up movies I've ever seen in my entire life. I went to see it with friends on opening night, and it was such a roller coaster of emotions. It is a powerful movie that rocked me in my seat and made me smile ear to ear. It was one of those experiences. I love Infinity War with all my heart. I think it's a very solid Marvel movie. But Endgame is so much more. And while I do think Infinity War is a bit of a better movie compared to Endgame, I still think Endgame wins due to how grandiose it is, if I can use that word correctly. I just think it's so big scale that it's hard to even compare them. Endgame, it feels like this bizarre, like, cinematic obliteration. It feels like this crazy nuclear explosion of energy. Whereas Infinity War is that, but it's a little bit more, it's tonally, it's very different. It's not really structured like a movie. It's very bizarre in a lot of ways. It's got a lot going on. And so does Endgame, but Endgame is a little bit more insane. Again, this is one of my favorite movies of the year simply because of how crazy it is. I have a dang poster of it on my wall. I adore this movie with every inch of my heart, and I can rewatch it any day of the week. And it is a 3-hour-long movie, and I can't say that about very many 3-hour-long movies, but for some reason this movie has weirdly good pacing for being a 3-hour-long movie. I know people hate it. I know it's overrated or whatever, but I can't help it. I'm not gonna lie to myself. It's one of my favorite movies. Detective Pikachu is very standard. And by standard, I mean the best things that it does is the fact that it looks pretty neat. I gotta admit, I really like the look of the Pokemon. I know some people were weirded out by it, but I legitimately think the Pokemon were very well handled in this movie. It doesn't always look super realistic, but I think they blend in with the environment very well. But I like the atmosphere of the city. I think it has a lot going for it, and I think there's a lot there to make it stand out amongst other things. I really wish they did more with this movie, and I think that they just needed a better writer and a better story, and I think it would have been solid. But overall, everything else is pretty good. So overall, I say it's a decent movie. I don't think it's a masterpiece or anything. I just think it's in the middle, you know. Next up is Brightburn, and I watched this because I was interested. and it's, again, very standard. I think what this movie really suffers from is the lack of development time. The movie's like an hour and a half. They barely have enough time to develop any of the ideas, because the kid immediately flips to evil like right away. It just happens. It's so quick and out of nowhere. It's just, it's an interesting concept, and if done really well, it could be amazing. But as is, this movie just kind of is fine. Oh boy, this one's gonna piss a lot of you all off. Godzilla 2 King of the Monsters. I didn't like this movie, and I'm very, very fine with saying that. I know people really like this one, but I'm sorry, I didn't. I went in optimistic slightly. It is really kind of overrated. I think that a lot of people hype up the big monster fights, but they're just not great. It's like 2 minutes of monsters. It's not even 2 minutes. It's the shortest. They show monsters fighting for about like probably a minute or less, and then they cut away. And then they cut back to it. And it's really not exciting. I think it's too fast too. From what I remember, it's been a while since I've seen the movie. I just remember the movie moving way, way, way too fast. And I don't care about these monsters anymore. The only one I really care about is Godzilla. Everyone else kind of sucks. I don't care about Mothra. I don't care about Rodan. Ghidorah as a concept is kind of a cool idea for a monster. I always thought Ghidorah was really cool, but in this movie he just doesn't really do anything crazy. I really think they needed a better script for this one, because this one is this is where things are starting to get stupid. And I get that it's a Godzilla movie, right? Things are bound to get stupid when you introduce all these things. But the first one felt grounded. The first one had a very solid structure and felt very solid writing-wise. This one doesn't. This one feels like it was written by the generic Action Joe who writes all the dumb action movies. It just feels lame. They didn't really try for this one. I know people are gonna get mad at me, but I don't really care. It's my thoughts on the movie. If you like this movie, perfectly fine. I know a lot of people that like this movie, but for me personally, it just didn't do it for me. I'm still waiting for the best Godzilla movie, because right now the 2014 one is still my favorite. Rocket Man is a very solid movie. I actually quite enjoyed this. In fact, I enjoyed this a little bit more than Bohemian Rhapsody. I actually really enjoyed this because, one, you got my boy Taron singing, and Taron does a really good job. He makes his own identity with these songs, sort of remasters them, he makes them a little bit, they stand out a lot more, you know? He did a good job with that. And this movie is a little bit more fantastical, a little bit more of a musical, and I like musicals. I'm a filthy musical lover, alright? I like just the pure, fun of musicals, because it's usually very out of this world and very chaotic. And this movie has a lot of elements of that. It's still a biopic, but it still takes its own direction, and it still takes its own take on Elton John and these songs, and I really, really appreciate that. Far From Home, Spider-Man, was actually pretty good. It's my third favorite Spider-Man movie. I still like Homecoming a little bit more than Far From Home, just because I think Homecoming is a little bit more down to earth and doesn't really rely on Endgame as much. Obviously, Far From Home had to rely on Endgame, and I don't think that's initially a problem that it relies on Endgame, but Homecoming feels a little bit more solid and more like you could just watch it any day of the week. With Far From Home, if you haven't seen Endgame in a while, you may be a little confused. You may be like, wait, what's going on? Jake Gyllenhaal, fantastic as Mysterio. Mysterio in general, great, really enjoyed that character. And a lot of the humor is just down my alley. I really like these more casual approaches to Spider-Man movies. I know people hate the Spider-Man movies. I've been over this discussion a million times. People do not like these movies. I really enjoy this. I really enjoyed the Tom Holland Spider-Man films. I think that they're very solid, and I really cannot wait for the third one. I'm really, really looking forward to that one. Everyone and their mother has already talked about It Chapter 2, so I won't drag on for too long. I thought it was okay. I initially came out of the theater really liking it. In fact, I actually liked it more than the first one. But the more I think about it, the more I'm just kind of like, yeah, alright, that was fine. It was fine, it was decent, it had a lot of good moments, it had a lot of nice things. I think that they kind of butchered the story in a lot of ways. They didn't really dive into any of the cosmic shit that I was hoping they would talk. I'm sorry, excuse my language. Because the final form of Pennywise is so stupid. I know, how else were they going to handle that, right? But this is not the way. I don't know. It was fine, but it wasn't particularly anything crazy. In my opinion, I know a lot of people liked it, and I actually liked it. I just didn't think it was amazing. El Camino Breaking Bad movie was good. However, I think it was unnecessary. I think we already knew the idea. We knew from the ending of Breaking Bad, Jesse Pinkman is free. We don't need to know much else. That is all you really need to say. However, this movie felt the need to say it again. This is really only for hardcore fans who really want to know what happened to Jesse. Again, I think it's very much, you don't have to know. It's very much just a movie where if you want to know, you can know, but you could be very much content with just watching the TV show. There's nothing really shed light on in this movie. So yeah, I like this movie. I think it's shot very well, but it's definitely not necessary in the slightest. Invader Zim Enter the Florpus was awesome. I was so happy this movie came out. I binged Invader Zim before the movie came out because I remember watching it a little bit as a kid. And yeah, I love this movie. In fact, I love it more than the show because the show kind of relies on crude humor a lot of times, but this one felt really solid. I really like the animation style, and I wish that Invader Zim was still running today. That's all I could really ask for because this movie was super solid. Writing-wise, it was hilarious. Animation-wise, it was gorgeous. And it was just one of those movies that really just hit me. It made me feel like a kid again. It was so much fun. I recommend it 100%. It was so fun. All right, so Joker. This is probably the movie that you guys are expecting a lot of thoughts on, but honestly, I thought it was great. That's it. I did not think it was a masterpiece. I thought it was great. A lot of people overhyped this movie. I think it was fairly, it's good. Don't get me wrong. It is good. But it's not amazing. It's not the greatest thing on planet Earth. It is very, very solid, though. I love Joker. Marriage Story is actually one of my favorite movies of the year. It is super, super solid. I cannot express how solid it is. It's just really relatable. It's really funny at the times, and it's very, very sad. It's a very sad movie. It's very real. It feels like a personal story. It feels almost too personal. It feels like I feel like I'm looking into someone's life. Adam Driver, Scarlett Johansson, solid. I know this isn't really a movie that I can really recommend to you guys, but I'm still gonna recommend it anyways. I still think it's great. It's very slow paced. There are a lot of scenes where characters just talk for long amounts of time, but that's of course to establish character. You really get a feel for their characters, and one of the best scenes is a really long argument. It's a fantastic scene. But yeah, Marriage Story is awesome. And lastly, and my favorite movie of the year is Klaus. And yes, I did say this was my favorite movie of the year because while I love Endgame and I love Marriage Story and I love Lego Movie 2, which I would consider to be my top 3 favorite movies of the year, I think that Klaus captures something a little bit more. I think it made me feel really genuinely happy. I haven't felt this genuinely happy in a long time watching a movie. It was a legitimate smile that came over my face when I was watching this movie of just pure joy. This movie feels like a modern Christmas classic with how it's presented. Animation is gorgeous. I don't even want to know how much effort this took. It's 2D animated and then rendered like godlike. So, holy crap. Good job, guys. You friggin' knocked it out of the park. I really want you guys to do more movies because this is insane. But Klaus is a really, really solid movie that has come a long way, and it should be regarded as one of the best Christmas movies of all time. And like I said, it's my favorite movie of the year, which is surprising. But it's so simple. There's nothing hard to grasp about it. It's just a movie that you can watch and enjoy and love. And what more could I ask for? Also, I want to quickly mention the Dark Crystal TV show. Super solid show. Check it out. I've never seen the original Dark Crystal movie, but this is a great starting point since it's a prequel. Puppets are awesome. All this effort that they put in is insane. Please check it out. Dark Crystal is super solid, and a lot of effort and work was put into it. It's a TV show. I just want to quickly mention that. But yeah, that was it for movies. I talk way too much. Howdy, y'all. It's your boy Ratman back with a quick update, brief update. So I recently saw Rise of Manwalker, and I thought it was kind of lame. I don't know. It was okay, I guess. It just wasn't. I was pretty let down by it. I still prefer The Last Jedi. And I didn't see Cats. I didn't watch the movie, the critically acclaimed movie Cats, because I refused to give them money. However, I did get a review from my good friend Tharch Lamarche, and he wrote a quick summary, and he wanted to, here it is. Let me read it in his voice.
The best way I can describe Cats is it's like seeing the formation of a new religion. Think of all the choices that go into making a movie. The acting, the writing, the FX, the cinematography. Cats looks at all those things and makes the wrong choices every single time. Trying to understand the story of Cats is like trying to understand the mad rambling stories of a sidewalk crack addict. It's mostly incomprehensible, and they get really excited sometimes and you don't know why, but you know you don't like it. You could drive a man insane by making him watch Cats over and over again. It's simultaneously really boring and really hard to follow at the same time. There's nothing going on, and there's a lot going on. Overall, it's an experience unlike any other in the theater, in all the wrong ways. This movie makes me question how someone was exactly hired to make it. It's pulverizing. He didn't say that. He said pulverizing, but I wanted to add the pun. Thanks for that, Tharch. Lamarch.
So, like, I don't know if any of you guys know, but I'm a bit of a gamer girl, I guess. Yeah, I've dabbled in a couple video games. I played a little bit of Mario's, played a little bit of Zelda's. I played them all. Regardless, though, I just want to take a quick moment of this video to talk about 2019 games, because there were some solid games in 2019. Recently found out that gaming is basically my biggest passion. I love collecting video games. I really enjoy it. I like playing video games quite a lot, even more than Lego at this point. But real quick before we get onto the 2019 games that I played, because I played a decent amount, I didn't play a lot, so hopefully this part of the video won't be nearly as long as the movie part. I do quickly want to mention some games that I played during 2019 that aren't necessarily 2019 games. This will be really quick. I don't have much to say regarding these. Spyro and Red Dead 2. I know I already talked about these in my last videos. I'm not going to go on for too long. Red Dead 2 isn't amazing gameplay-wise. I think the story's incredible, but I think gameplay-wise it's kind of just eh. But it's still a pretty solid game. And Spyro Reignited Trilogy is everything I could ask for from a fan of the Spyro franchise. But yeah, I don't have much else to add to that. That's pretty much it. I don't want to drag on for too long. I played Hat in Time and I absolutely adored it. If you don't know what it is, it's a indie 3D platformer. I really, really liked it. I highly recommend you check it out. It's on the Switch now. It's so fun. Please get it. Please play it. Please. Spider-Man's pretty great. Rayman Legends was a fun game. I finally got that for Switch and I really enjoyed it. It's a very fun, solid 2D platformer with a great sense of artistic style. I really like this one. It's not perfect, but it's pretty dang fun. And finally, The Last of Us. I don't even need to say why this game is good or why I enjoyed it. I think it's a very, very solid experience and it's one of my favorite stories ever told in anything, ever. I'm 100% confident saying that. It is ridiculously solid, and I'm so honored to have played it, finally, last year. Yeah, I really liked Last of Us. And now, hold your horses, ladies and gentlemen. We can continue with the 2019 games.
Let's get into it!
Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled is a very, very solid remake of Crash Team Racing. I never actually played Crash Team Racing at all, so it was a bit of a learning curve to get used to Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, but it's super solid. Graphic-wise, it looks actually quite nice. I was very surprised coming out of the Insane Trilogy, because the Insane Trilogy looks great at times, and then really gross at times. So it was really nice to see this game have such a beautiful art style, and they worked so well with the character designs. I was very happy about that. But holy crap, this game is hard. I can't play this game. It is so difficult, and the rubber banding is insane. It's insanely demanding. And maybe I'm just horrible at video games, but I swear I cannot play this game for the life of me. It is so difficult at times. Kingdom Hearts 3 is a game that I didn't really want to talk about because I actually haven't finished it. I tried to finish most of the 2019 games, but I just couldn't. Here's my consensus. Kingdom Hearts 3 is a very solid game. Gameplay-wise, it is very well done. Graphics-wise, very solid. But I don't really care. The story is just getting to this point where I just don't really care about it anymore, and I know that's what a lot of Kingdom Hearts fans like. I specifically binged the entire series just to follow this story, but I just stopped caring at one point. I don't know why. It was like it was like an anchor weighing down on me. I was just like, hey, it's not really worth getting into, you know? And I just got bored of the game after a while. I think it was just too long for me. It was too much time running around in these Disney worlds, and I know that's what people want, but maybe I'm insane. I can't explain it for the life of me. I just thought this game was kind of boring. I'm not done it yet. I will try to finish it soon. I haven't played it in months, but I'm going to get to it eventually, and when I finish it, I will make sure to let you guys know on Instagram, because if you follow me on Instagram, if you want to, I don't know. Super Mario Maker 2, oh baby, here it goes again. Super Mario Maker 2, was pretty solid. Not really for me. I bought this at full price, and I don't really know why. I think it was because the big new game, and I've never played the original Mario Maker. It's just not something that I can sink a lot of time into, unfortunately. But I can't deny how solid it is. There's a lot of mechanics to work with, and it's a very fun game. Nintendo gave you like 100 plus levels to work with in a single player mode, and I quite enjoyed that. I currently can't even play the online mode because I don't have this freaking stupid Nintendo Online. But regardless, it's a solid game. It's just not something I would consider to be my game of the year or anything. It's still fun, it's just not necessarily my thing. But I totally get it if it is your thing. The Medieval remake for PS4 is pretty great. However, it is hard for me because I'm bad at games. But that personally affected my enjoyment. I find the lack of checkpoints to be something that really ticks me off, and I get it. Right, the levels are short anyways, you don't need checkpoints. But I am very bad at the game, and dying and having to restart it all over again, especially when there's a lot of little puzzles that you have to redo, it's kind of aggravating. So I would get all the way through this level, only to die at the boss, and then have to go back and redo everything again, and it was kind of annoying. It is a good game, but I feel like it's kind of outdated. Like, I feel like they should have polished more of the mechanics. I feel like there was more polishing that needed to be done there. I have never played the original, so I don't exactly know how it stacks up, but I just feel like this one was a little bit of a letdown, in my opinion. It's not a letdown, it's a good game, but it just feels a little restricted in like a tiny little box. I can't quite explain it as well because I'm stupid. New Super Lucky's Tale is a cute 3D platformer that I enjoyed quite a bit. Again, it's not perfect. I think it lacked a lot of the charm that Hat in Time had. I think Hat in Time had incredible charm and character and a lot of appreciation. This is sort of the same, but it does lack a lot of that charm, in my opinion. It's got charm, but it's just not in the right area. You know, it doesn't feel as self-aware as something like Hat in Time, where Hat in Time's a little bit more, it makes fun of itself a little bit more. This is a little bit more like an official game, so it's alright, nothing amazing. And Luigi's Mansion 3 is a game that I literally probably only played for a minute. I really want to play this game, I just haven't had the time, so it's not, I can't even officially talk about it. But it looks incredible. Holy crap. I want to play this game so bad. It looks so good, and I can promise you that it will probably be my game of the year once I play it. However, I have not. So, yeah. And finally, not a game, but I do want to discuss the DLC for Smash Bros. This was the year of DLC in Smash Ultimate. We got a lot of DLC, and let's talk about it all. So first of all, kickstarting the game this year, we got Piranha Plant. I think he came up when the game came out. I don't remember, actually. Whatever. I don't remember if he came out in 2018 or whatever. Either way, he came out. I like Piranha Plant quite a lot. I know people like to forget about him because it's the cool thing to do, but I think he's quite a fun, goofy character that has he has his moments. Then we got Joker from Persona 5, and can I just say, what a reveal that was. It was such a, like, what the hell moment. But I really enjoy his inclusion in the game. I think that he is quite a fun character to play as. I mained him for a little bit just because of how fun he was. And then we got, like, Hero, who's okay. Then we got Banjo-Kazooie. Oh my god, this was so cool. I was so happy when he was announced. He is a platforming icon, and it makes me very happy that he's in this game that I enjoy, and he is so much fun to play as, and he's so cool, and he goes yah-hah, which makes him automatically the greatest character in the entire video game. And then we got Terry, who is also a very solid fighter, but admittedly he's just kind of boring. Like, I totally get it. Neo Geo, he's a big deal over in Japan, but to me, the lowly man who knows nothing about him, I couldn't really give a rat's ass, to be honest. But regardless, I'm still happy he's in the game. So 2019, gaming-wise, was pretty okay. Not a lot of games I was super interested in, but there were a couple big releases, and when something big did come out, I was all into it. 2020 looks like a much bigger year in scale. We got Avengers, Last of Us 2,
Oh my god.
Final Fantasy VII Remake, which actually makes me want to play Final Fantasy VII, which is a super rare thing because I don't like turn-based combat, but I think this game looks really solid. And, what else? Animal Crossing looks kind of cool. But yeah, a lot of big games coming out next year. I'm super excited for 2020. So, if I'm being real with myself, I would call 2019 the year of promise and broken hearts. Because I promised a lot, I was a good boy, I promised a lot of good things, and then it quickly punched you in the ribs and took away your heart or whatever. I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about anymore. So going into this year, I think honestly 2019 was a big year of improvement for my channel. But other than that, it was also a year of not really getting much done. Because of the stupid move that I went through, not a lot of videos came out, unfortunately, throughout most of the year because I was packing away all my stuff. I couldn't obviously get a lot of stuff out. But I did get quite a few mock reviews out. That was very nice. I wanted to get a lot of mock reviews out, and I think that the style has been improved to a point where I'm very, very happy and content with it. What I want to do with my channel going forward, and what I think I did in 2019, is put entertainment above anything else. I think there's a line you need to walk when it comes to your channel between being real and being entertaining. Even if it's not a funny video, even if you don't laugh, I want to at least make it somewhat entertaining. 2019 will always be known as the year that I promised Defenders would come out and then didn't. It did come out. And Renzo episode 12 came out this year, and for me, that was a big achievement. I wanted to get Renzo 12 out in 2018. I wasn't able to do that because Renzo episode 12 was such a huge episode. I was not expecting it to be nearly as long as it was. And it has its problems, but I'm still decently proud of it. Again, it's not perfect, obviously. There's still a lot of issues. I'll go back and listen to some of the dialogue and be like, ew, why did you say that like that? But overall, I think I am decently happy with Renzo 12. It's one of the first videos that I can actually say that I'm happy. We also sort of brought back Biorama this year, and you could say Biorama technically came back in 2018 with Garden Warfare. However, Garden Warfare is just kind of a goofy little short. Moving Out, however, is a full-on special that I didn't really put much time into because there wasn't even a script, but I'm still decently happy with it. It's okay. It's not amazing. It's just, I think, whatever. I had to make something about moving out of my home. Let's see what else. I got like the new Renzo show. That started again. That was kind of fun. A big thing that I want to do focusing on 2020 real quick is I want to streamline the streams, the live streams, because I think that I've been live streaming too much and I really just want to kind of stop doing that. Because I think live streams should be special. Live streams should be something that people go, oh, look at that. The Game Awards stream or the Decade Review stream, those things are fine, but I think all the gaming streams need to stop. I will be moving gaming streams to my gaming channel from now on. I've said this before, and then I failed to commit to this. This will be the new status quo, so I will be focusing on streaming less this year. I know streams are cool, and it was personally a way for me to just talk and get things, through. If I was having a bad day, I would do a stream, but I hopefully will not be doing that anymore. Again, streams are only really going to be a special event from now on, so yeah, if you notice the fact that there are less streams, that is why. Or if I'm lying right now, you can come back to this video and say,
Renzo Box is a liar, delete his channel, unsubscribe.
Just a couple more videos that I'm decently proud of. I think the recent Halloween special was actually pretty good. It's random as all hell, it doesn't make any sense, and it's not something that normal people who follow my channel would be interested in the slightest, but I thought it was pretty fun. And the Rocket Royale trailer came out. I'm very happy with that because I didn't make it. Thatch made it. So I can say that it was actually pretty good. And I'm really, really excited to show more Rocket Royale. I'm really sorry I couldn't get out any Rocket Royale during 2019. However, there's big stuff on the horizons. I'm really excited to show it off. Question is when. I don't freaking know. So moving forward, what I would like to do in 2020 is just continue to improve my channel and the personality. I don't have anything big going on this year. I'm not moving, hopefully. Maybe I am. I don't freaking know. But I would like to continue to improve the quality on my channel if, that's what I want to do. I want to make it sillier. I want to make things funnier. I want to make the editing better. I want to improve, stop motion in videos, which is something I've already teased that there will be stop motion in Rocket Royale. However, it'll just be brief little things, just because I'm not very good at stop motion, so I don't want to commit a whole video to stop motion. But regardless, I think there's a lot of good things on the horizon that I'm personally very excited about. We'll see how well it translates. Hopefully everything goes well. If not, I'll friggin' delete my channel or whatever. Also, Kappa is a thing that a lot of people have been like, aren't you worried about that? And I kind of am, but at the same time, I'm kind of not. I just set all my videos to that I get to choose, because honestly, I do make a lot of content. Like, would I call this video made for kids? No, because I said naughty words in it, so I don't consider it a kid's video. But at the same time, I'm talking too much. Alright folks, this is the moment where we cut the sad music, take off the glasses, and talk a little real with y'all. Because we're talking about personal things. And personally, 2019 was a weird year. It was a little goofy. So 2019 is a year that would I consider it a good year. Overall, yes. However, the beginning of the year kind of sucked ass. The fact of the matter was that I was going through a move. And the move wasn't hard. I actually wanted to move for a long time, so moving was actually a good thing for me. Because I knew that it was going to improve my life in one way or another. It was very sad moving away from my friends. Shout out to the boys, who are some of my greatest friends, and I miss them every day, and I wish that I could continue hanging out with them, but the fact of the matter is, I miss them very much. I'm sorry. If you guys are watching this, God bless you. I miss you all. The reality behind it is that I was basically just doing nothing for months on end. I had nothing to do. I couldn't work on videos. I mean, I could, but they would just be weirdo, bizarro shit that doesn't make any sense. Or just like a stream. And it was so boring, and I didn't have anything to do. And it really took a toll on me. And it started messing with me a little bit. And when I moved, that sort of carried over. I realized I didn't have anything to do until I got a job. And the job has been, not only is the job what I consider to be a decent job, but it's been something that has boosted my self-reliance, my, I don't know, all the good things, I finally feel like I have a routine, and I feel like that I know what I'm doing. There's actually a direction that I know where I'm building up to. I have a plan, somewhat. I can't tell you guys the plan, but the plan is it's a good plan. It's like escaping Shawshank Prison sort of plan, But regardless, I think that the majority of the year was just kind of dumb. But it got very good towards the end. I will admit, it got really, really solid in there, and I think that I'm happy. I've been focusing on drawing. I've been focusing on trying to express myself a lot more openly. I'm a little bit more personal than I used to be, which I wasn't before, I used to be kind of closed off from people. I want to go ahead and thank some of my best friends in the world for helping with that. Dachmac, one of my best friends on planet Earth. We can relate to almost anything. And it's crazy how this guy, I met him later, I met him after Kasai and Akoto, but regardless, he is still one of my best friends who I nearly talk to every day, so God bless you, man. And of course, Toakira Akoto, who is my best friend, and I love you so much, man. I really do. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for talking with me. You are the unsung hero of my life. And I know that sounds dramatic, but I'm just being real. And shout out to the rest of Hori, who are all great. Especially this year, especially in 2019, I got to talk a lot with Vonu Von Travia and Storm Seraph, who are both goofy little boys who makes dumb jokes and play Minecraft. Them and Tonoretta, we've all been playing Minecraft, and I haven't played it in a long time, but it was really fun to play this game that I used to play a lot as a kid, and just play it with them and have a goofy old time. It was really fun, and I appreciate the good times. I want to get back into it. It was just a lot at first, but I think I'm ready to get back into it and start making fun of you again, because it was really fun. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I think that 2019 was overall pretty decent, and especially towards the end, I think it got really good. I know it's not a universal thing, but I personally had a decent year. And yeah, so there's that. I'm hoping 2020 will be even better, especially since I have this plan that I'm going through. Hopefully that plan will go perfectly well, and hopefully things are going to improve a million times better by the end of the year. But we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. And I think we're done. Like, I'm pretty sure that's everything. Holy shit. I am so sorry for myself who has to edit this video. Good luck, man. Good luck. This sucks, doesn't it? Yeah, this sucks. I hate you. And that was 2019. God, I feel empty inside. So 2019 is an okay year. Had its ups, had its downs, and I'd say overall, it was pretty solid. You know, it wasn't god-awful, it wasn't amazing by any means, it was just kind of like, it was okay. I like it a little bit more than 2018 because more happened this year, but I know that's just a personal thing. Anyways, I don't have much else to add to it. I've been talking for way too long. I'm very tired. I want to sleep. I just hope that I can get more videos out for you guys this year. I know I want to do a lot of bigger videos this year that are going to take a little bit longer because editing will be more involved, and that's not really something that I've done before. I've been trying to improve, but if it's working or not, you let me know. Maybe I've gotten worse, you know. This isn't going to be a video that a lot of people will see, and I'm fully aware of that. So to the people who do watch all the way to the end, thank you so much. It means the world to me that you would even consider sitting through this video. And if you enjoyed it, that's awesome. I'm glad that I could make you enjoy something, I guess. Anyways, I'm rambling, but I hope you all have a very, very great new year. And I'm sorry that this video is late. It took a lot longer to make this one than I thought it was. So yeah, I'm Renzo Mox, and Happy New Year. Goodbye, everyone. God, it feels weird ending this video now, because this feels like I should be talking for another 40 minutes. Is this weird? Am I weird? What's going on here? Am I in a time vortex? What the hell is happening? Someone please help me. I don't know where I am. This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Unlock a free epic champion at yournumber.com.